thanks for tuning into this episode of the Bean Counter Podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Argue. I just created a brand new YouTube channel. Links down below. Please go ahead and subscribe. You'll get all the new videos. I'm going to be putting a lot of the old podcasts into videos over the next week or two. So go down there and check it out. I would hugely appreciate it. So today I wanted to talk about something that came up over the weekend. My wife has been working now in the workforce for almost 2 years, and we were sort of reflecting on that experience. And I remember when I first started working, I had my first real internship in an office, and then I worked at a job for a year. And during that whole experience, I remember thinking how much smarter everybody was around me. You know, it's like every time I did work, they would give me these pointed and detailed comments about how I did something wrong. And it was sort of, it sort of hurts the self-esteem a little bit. You think, oh, I go to college, I know this stuff, I can do this, I got my CPA, but you really don't know that much. But it's interesting, we were having this conversation, we discovered something that may be obvious to you, but it's something that we never really thought about before in this way. And what we realized was that in the beginning, we certainly felt that way. I felt like I didn't know a lot, like I was sort of dumb compared to all these other people. But over time, I began to realize that that wasn't the case at all. In fact, I was actually much smarter than a lot of the other people that I was around. Not trying to be arrogant or anything. I just sort of got that feeling over time. But they just happened to have been there longer. And so what I sort of started to realize was that, most people who are above you aren't smarter than you. They've just been there longer. They don't have any special skill or ability that you don't have other than a lack of experience. And I started to think about people who were really revered in the organizations that I worked for, who people really looked up to and thought were great. And they didn't fall into this category. And so this doesn't have to be the way that it goes for you. And I sort of see it falling into 3 categories. The first one is, anybody who works as long as you have, let's say you work 5, 6, 10, 15 years, anybody who worked that long could accomplish the same things that you can accomplish. They could learn the same skills. All you've basically done is sit there and got the experience based on the amount of time, the number of years. The second category would be, you're good. It takes other people a little bit longer to do what you can do. So let's say you've where you're at right now took you 10 years. Pretty much anybody else, it would take them 15 years to do that. That means you're really good, right? That means you're really good. But the best you can be, in my mind, is if after a certain period of time, you're in a position where there's really no one else that can do what you can do. And now that might seem impossible, that might seem sort of crazy. Everybody always says, well, everyone's replaceable. And I think that that's true to some degree. But the more that you can make yourself unique in your company or in your niche, if you're an entrepreneur, the more valuable you become. And the reality of it is, all of us have our own sort of mini monopoly, right? Like nobody can be Andrew Argue. Like nobody can be you. You are the one you. You have your own little monopoly over you. So what is it that you can put together and that you can sell to your boss, to your company, to your customers, that is completely unique to you that nobody else has? That's what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes on that. A lot of people feel down when they start working, like they're small, like they don't know a lot. And a lot of people make them feel that way. And I'll tell you right now, the people that make you feel that way, that make you feel like you don't know what you're doing and you're stupid, those are the people that fall into that first category I talked about. The category where, well, let's be honest, they just happen to be there long enough. And if I found that the greater degree of hostility that they have to you, the greater resentment they feel for where they know you're going to go, which is, above where they were in 5 years, right? So after 5 years, they got here. They sort of sense by working with you that after 5 years, you're going to be above them and you're going to do better than them, and they start to resent that. So don't feel bad when you get beat up on. In fact, you should wear it as a badge of honor. I hope that was helpful. Listen, guys, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can email me anytime at andrew@thebeancounter.org. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your week.